Hi all, welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to talk about BGP task selection process in standard mode. As you know, when you create VPC, we have two modes. One is legacy mode and another one is standard mode. So basically in standard mode, when we use that, we like more closely adheres to the RFC 4271, which is more related to BGP. So if you want to use all the features of BGP, so you can use standard mode. If you don't want, you can go or use still the legacy mode. So Google recommends go with legacy mode as of now. But if you have a network engineers and who all knows and want to work with proper BGP, then we can go with standard mode. So what will happen in standard mode? We have consistent AS pass based routing. So in this, AS path information is considered over all of the LAN routes of on all the cloud routers of the VPC network, and this led to influence traffic flow using AS path preventing. So as you remember, I have told you that we can use AS path depending in my previous videos to make one specific session less preferred over the another. So if you have two sessions, BGP sessions, you want one will be active and will be passive, and or maybe it is coming from multiple cloud router also. So you can use AS path depending. So what will happen that suppose as of now your like BGP peer is like sending one path, only one path, AS path like 64512, but another session also is sending same path 64512, and you want that this specific session will become less preferable. So you can use AS path depending, and with that you will add one more path. So it will become 64512, 64512, anything you can add. So it has now two parts like AS path 1 and AS path 2. So it will be less preferred over to another one. So like this, you can use AS path depending. But in legacy, this will not work because legacy doesn't support all the features of BGP. So if you try to do the same thing by creating BGP route policies and will try to use AS path depending, it will all the configuration will looks good, but at last this your depending will not take effect. Your PGP will not work, or your session will not work as you want. Traffic will go over the same session, and even you have configured everything. So for that, you can use standard mode if you want to use this. I will show you how we can do that, and it also has better flexibility and customization. Like you have like more control how BGP prefixes are ranked within your VPC network. Even we can fine tune BGP best path routing. We can use communities, and in that dynamic routes have a lower VPC network route priority compared to static routes. So if you configure the static route, it will take more priority over dynamic routes. So when we configure standard path selection mode, so cloud router offers following configuration options. So first one is compare MAD values. So we can choose either of the following, like always compare. So as of now, what will happen if we go with default option? So it will compare the MAD values inside a single cloud router. So suppose you have two cloud routers, and on with one cloud router, you have a same AS path on suppose on the both cloud routers, but on one cloud router you have a less MAD, and you want that cloud router to be preferable over another one. But that will not happen because it will only compare the MAD value inside a single cloud router. So what suppose you have a cloud router in which two sessions are there, it will compare MAD value between those two sessions, but it will not compare MAD value between the two different cloud routers. So like that, I have a cloud router here and one here. So as of now, it has two sessions. So it will compare MAD value between these two sessions. Even this cloud router is offering a very low MAD, and you want this cloud router become primary, but your VPC or your cloud router will not ask or take these routes. It will say, I will compare only MAD between my cloud router only. If it is coming from my cloud router or my session, then only it will work. So what will happen? We can enable this option always compare. So as you enable always compare, what will happen? It will compare MAD values across all the cloud routers, and the cloud router which has the smallest MAD value will become the primary. But before that, it will check the AS path also. If AS path is equal for all the cloud routers, then it comes to MAD value. So for the conditional compare, it will just check the prefix that are grouped by the AS. Then the cloud router run the prefix form. So it will not check with like from another router. Only it will check from the same cloud router. So it means suppose this cloud router have a two BGP session that is connected to the same gateway. So it basically both are going to use the same AS path only. So it will compare between those if you don't do use conditional compare, and if you use always compare, so it will compare between all the cloud routers, even those are in different AS paths. Maybe it is using 64512, this is using 64515. So it will compare. It is a very helpful feature. I will show you how it works. And also we can use add region to inter-region cost. So when we select this option, it will add inter-region cost to our MAD values. So suppose you have a MAD value 100 here, so it will, and you want to send traffic to Europe, so it will add inter-region cost. Same here, it will add inter-region cost. So it will, like in the traffic engineering, it will change your how traffic will flow. I will show you in the demo because it is a very big topic to understand. After that, this is the task selection process in standard mode. First of all, it will check the shortest AS path length. So the BGP task sort the list of next hops by AS path length. So suppose this has this AS path length, like only two hops are there, single hop is there, depend upon your provider and your ISP. So maybe it has 64512 and 64513. It has only 64514. So it has AS path length of 1. It has AS path length of 2. So it will make it this primary and it will use this only. So from shortest AS path length to longest AS path after sorting, the BGP removes all the next hops that don't have the shortest AS path length from the consideration. So first of all, it will check AS path, then it will check the origin type. Where from where the that task is getting origin, like from IGP, EGP, or it can have an incomplete origin type also. So if it is coming from IGP, it will remove all the EGP. If it is coming from EGP, it will remove all the incomplete one. And last option is incomplete. Then it will consider neighbor ASN. So that setting depends upon routing config. BGP always compare MAD. That is this compare MAD. So if you have enabled this always compare, then it will compare the MAD between all the neighbors. If you haven't enabled this always compare option, then it will only compare the MAD values between a single cloud router. It will not give importance to another cloud router, even that is giving a better route. It will just say, I don't know about you. I will not compare or ask or take your details in my routing table. So I will show you how these all things works. I know it is little confusing. So just for before going on, I am going to create something like this only, and we will show how traffic will flow, how BGP policies will work, and I will also show like how AS path dependent doesn't work in legacy mode. But as soon as we move to standard mode, it will start working and it will follow this RFC 4271. So if you are a network engineer, you can check out this RFC 4271. You will, I think you already know how it works and what are the features it have. And let's go to console and let's see what are the options we have. I'm in my console as of now, and we can see like I have configured all the things. So I have configured basically VPN between my two projects, first project and second is this my second project, and all is done. I have shown how to configure this multiple times, so I'm not covering how to configure a VPN. So as you can see, everything is looking good. I have some VMs for my testing which I have created, and I will going to use those VMs. So here are my VMs. This is my one VM in Europe region, one is in Mumbai region, and here is one VM in Mumbai region. This is my VPC. Here is only two subnets I am using as of now. And if I go to, as of now, you can see best path selection mode is legacy. And same here, if I go to my on-prem VPC, here also legacy. As of now, I'm not using standard mode. First of all, I will try to show you what will happen if you use legacy mode, how it all works. So what I'm going to do, let me try to ping, uh, let me log in into this VM and I will try to ping one other VM and I will show how traffic is flowing. So I am going to ping my Mumbai VM from here. Let me copy this IP 10.10.1 and I am just came back and I will log in into my VM and just give a ping. So I'm able to ping because all the connectivity is working fine. And you can see I'm able to ping. Now what I will do, I will just check which tunnel it is using so that I can try to use AS path depending. I will go to my logs and I will just paste my query. So this is my query. I'm just running this. I want to know that destination is if 10.10 dot this 24, and so it is using which tunnel. So this is the latest logs. And if I go to expand nested fields, and if I just zoom it a little bit, so I can see it is using second project first tunnel. So if I go to my even cloud router and go to best routes. So let's see which best route I'm getting. So even I go to Asia South one and choose my network and click on view. So I can see for 10.10.0, I am getting both routes 3.1 and 2.1. So as of now, it is using this one. Let me see which one. Second project first tunnel. So second project first tunnel means 2.1. So if I go to my BGP sessions, and this is my first session, and this is using this one 2.1 to send traffic. I want that it will not use this tunnel anyhow. So what I am going to do before I do that, let me see learn routes also and go to cloud router and select my first BGP session and click on view. So as you can see, AS path is 64512 everywhere, and for the second session also same AS path. Now I want to use AS path prepending. What will I do? I will add one extra path here. It will become 64512 64512 two times. You can add anything. So what will happen? It will make this route less preferable and make another tunnel or another session make more preferable. You want that all the traffic will go from that tunnel. This will be a backup tunnel. So for that, we have to create BGP route policies. Now let's go to my Cloud Shell because it only you cannot create BGP route policies from your console. I have covered BGP route policies also for legacy one. This time we are going to use for standard also. So I have some commands. I'm going to run that. So this is my first of all, I'm going to run this command. I'm creating a policy. This is my for my first project router. Like this is my cloud router. So if I go back here, this is my cloud router name, and after that, this is my policy name. Policy type is export, and region is Asia South one. So there are two policy type: import, export. So if you want to prepend anything like if I want to add AS path extra here. So basically I'm learning these routes. So I have to export my path or my policy from my first project so that it will come to my second project and it will do all the changes I want to do. So I am going to run this and I am going to my cloud shell and run this command. I can see policy has been created. Let's go to BGP route policy. Let me refresh this page so that we can get the updated data. Also, it is just creating a policy, it is not attaching to anywhere. So no need to worry if you even create a policy, but don't do this in production until you know what you are doing. So I can see it has created a policy, and for this BGP policy, I created everything, a proper video. You can check it out. I'm not covering everything, but here you can see a policy is there, but it has no terms, anything. So I'm going to create a term also. So what I'm saying, if any traffic, uh, like this is my policy term, this is attached to my router, this is my policy name on which it will attach. This is the reason, the priority 200 I'm taking. I'm seeing any destination if match is to 10.10.10.0/24 action. What action it will do? It will add a one more AS path prepend. So I'm just copy this. So I will run this command now in my Cloud Shell. So it has been successfully done. Now if I come back and once again go inside here, I will see my policies there. So I have a policy now. AS path prepend sequence 10.10.0/24. Now I will have to attach this policy to my session. So let's go and see my session name. So if I click on BGP session, this is my first session. So if we remember that traffic is coming from second project first tunnel. So first tunnel is connected to my first project first tunnel. So we have to add this policy at my first session. So let's go back to our here and just update the first project first session. Let's check that the name is correct. First project first session looks good. So I'm attaching this policy to my first project first session, and let's run this. And we are seeing that it is working, updating my policy and attaching my policy to my session. That is done. Now let's go back to our BGP route policies. Let's give a refresh. Let's go inside the policy, and we can see my first project first session had attached by this policy. So let's go back to cloud router, and now let's go to my advertise route, and let's see if I go my cloud router and let's select my first session. So it must show one extra AS path. And now let's click on view. So you can see 64512 to 64516. And if we come back here and do a refresh also, and let's go to first session and just do a refresh, we can see extra one is coming here. So it means it must not use this path. This is a secondary path. Now let's go and again ping it. Let's see whether it works or not. We have given some traffic. Now let's come back, go to our logs and just run it again. So I have got some logs. It is at 12:02. Let's expand it. And we are seeing still it is using second project first tunnel. So it means AS path depending is there, but it is not working. The simple reason is simple because we are using legacy mode in my VPC. So if I want to it work, I have to change my legacy mode to standard mode. So you have the option whether you want to do the changes at which side. So basically, I mean to say at this side, I am just sending the prepending traffic. So not, if I make it legacy, no, nothing will happen. Like it will not create any issue. But on the this side, on the other side, where the traffic is coming here, like on this second router, and I can see traffic is not using this AS path prepending. So here I have to change my VPC to standard mode. Just click on edit, click on standard. We will check these options like always compare MAD and default one later on. Just click on save and now it will change our VPC best path selection mode to standard. So update has been successfully done. Now let's try to ping again. Maybe it will take some time, but let's try and ping this and done. Now I will check the logs, latest logs. Let's see what will happen. So this is my latest log 12:05. If I expand it, I can see as soon I just make a it is using second tunnel and that second project second tunnel. Before it is using first project first tunnel. Even it is we have done the AS path depending. So if you want to use AS path depending and more kind of like traffic engineering, use standard mode. So we can see now it is taking effect. 64512 64516 it is asking it, and if I try to ping like 10 dot something from this, like try to ping this, there is one more VM 10.11, this one this VM. Let's try to ping this also. Maybe it will possible that it will use the old tunnel only, that first tunnel, but for this specific route it will use different tunnel only. So let's copy this and let me update my query. So this time I will use. So I'm getting a log for this. Let's go inside it, expand it, and we can see it is using second project, second tunnel, but it is using a ICMP. It can use any tunnel. So even if we go to our now best route, no, sorry, ICM, not ICMP, and if we refresh this time, so we can see for 10.0, 10.10.0, it has a best path as 3.1. For rest, it has both path 3.1, 2.1, 3.1, 2.1. So because of that AS path depending, it has removed that best path from its route table because it will become a passive path. It will always use this path, and for another, it can use any of the paths. So it can send traffic to 3.1 or 2.1. Like this, you can use AS path depending. And multiple features we have. Now check, let's see one more thing. And if we go back to here in my VPC, we can see there is one more option. So we can see we have like always compare MAD value. For this, I have to create one more tunnel, and I will create tunnel this time in US region. So one is my Asia region and one will be in US region. Let me create the tunnel and I will, after that we can check on this. I've created one more tunnel and this is my in US South, sorry, US Central one, not US South. And if I go to VPN, I can show you my setup first of all. I created only single tunnel this time. Not using HA. I don't need that for this demo. So this is US outer first tunnel and everything looks good. Now if I go to my cloud router and let's see the advertised routes, and if I go to my cloud router for the first project, let's see for the first session and click on view, and we can see the same AS path depend is still there. And for 10.10.11.0 I am sending MAD value 649, and for the second session, let's click on here. I'm also sending 649. And if I change my cloud router to US router and change the session also, and if I click on view, for this I am sending 403. So you can see this is the lowest IMD. So it must be this session to send the traffic instead of my this cloud router session. So let's go and let's copy my this IP 10.10.11.6. And if I go back to this VM, before I go this VM, let's go to cloud router and see the best routes also and click on best routes. And if I select the region Asia, Asia South one, and if I go to network, if there is single network, cloud router, if I select all cloud router also, I am still getting 649. Even I have a better route to send the traffic to that location, but still this route is showing in my route table. So let's try to ping this also and let's see whether it will use this route only or not. So we have sent some traffic. Now let's go back to Log Explorer and rerun the query. This is my latest logs. Let me go inside it, little bit zoom, and we can see it is using second project, second tunnel. It is not using US tunnel, and that is happening because of this one. If I go to my VPC and if I click on this edit button, and you can see it has a standard mode, but it is not comparing MAD value. It is only compare MAD value between its on cloud router. So suppose if I have two sessions. So in one session, like here, let me show you also. I have two sessions, BGP session inside a single cloud router. On this both session, it will just compare the MAD value, which one has better MAD value, and it will use that. But if I have a one more extra router, it is not going to use this router to check the MAD values. For this reason, it is going to use specific to this cloud router only for all the traffic. So if I want to change this behavior, what can I do? I can come here and just I have to click on this. Always compare MAD value. Once it, what will happen? It will now compare MAD value between all the cloud routers which are present to this or region, or you can see any region because my VPC is global. And just I have to click on save. So when it will be saved, I will show you what will happen and what are the changes we get. So this is the traffic kind of traffic engineering, how you want to do that. It depends upon legacy and standard mode, but in standard mode, we have this extra option. So this is now enabled. Now let's go back to cloud router. Let me refresh. So most probably I will see 403 here for this route 10.11.0. Let's click on refresh. I can see 403 came here. Now it will comparing MAD values across all the sessions. No, sorry, all the routers, basically cloud routers. Now if I try to send traffic, now let me send the traffic. I can see I'm able to ping. Now let's go back to my log explorer and I have to just rerun the query. And this is my latest log 1217. And if I expand it, I can see it is using US router, first tunnel, second project. Like this, you can do traffic engineering, how you want to, which tunnel you want to make primary. You can do AS path depending. You can use communities. And even if I go here, I can see uh, like more things like MAD value and all that. Now, the last option that is remaining is inter-region cost. So as of now, it is using uh, just this only. So like MAD values, which is the greater MAD value. Now, if you want that, it will add inter-region cost also. In default, let's see what is there. By default, MAD is compared as originally received from PS. Setting this value add cost to MAD, adds inter-region cost before comparing MAD value. So, when we send traffic between different regions, there is a cost of sending the traffic. Like cost not means money, it also depends upon latency, distance, everything. So if we add this here, add cost to MED. So what will happen? It will add that cost to our MED also. MED means multi-axis discriminator. So if I come back here, it will add some cost to this MED. So but at the both side, cost will increase. So it will depend how much cost will it add. So maybe from Mumbai to Europe, it will add some cost, and from Europe to US, it will add some cost. So let's see how it will change the behavior. So let's click on save, and I can see add cost to MIT is done. Now let's see. Let's come back here and just refresh it again, and let's see what will affect change here. Let's click on refresh. So we can see 10.1 is came back. It is showing 649, 649. And if I go to US Central one, and let's see what will happen there. Even the best route it is showing this only. And from here it is showing 5403. But still on my Asia South one, it is showing me to use that another path which has a low MED. So why it is happening? Because of inter-region cost. So Cloud Router has added some inter-region cost. Because of that, this 649 is lesser than 403. So maybe it will not show how much cost it is adding, but that 403 is most probably bigger than 649. The cost because of that cost. Even if you go to your routes also, you will find something I think there also. So let's search for Asia South one and let's see. Click on view and we can see there will be some route priority also. For let me put that uh, our subnet value so we can find that specific subnet. This is my subnet. Let me copy this and if I put here in that, click on enter. So we can see it is using second project, second first tunnel and second tunnel only. And if I click on suppressed routes, we can see it is showing US tunnel also, but it has a priority of 65537. Because of that, some extra value or some extra intelligent cost, it has become a secondary path. So it has just suppressed this route and is it using this routes. So according to that, you can know like how much cost it is adding, and you can enable intelligent cost if you want a local path become your like you want this a local become always active, and it will preference local path. So you can use this option like inter-region cost. Only if you want your local become take preference. So like you have two cloud routers, one is US and one in uh, right now in Asia South one, and we see it is using after using this always compare MAD, it is start using US central one, but you want that it must use local path, local only, local cloud router instead of US one. So you can enable this one inter-region cost, so it will add some cost and it will make your like local router more preference over another router. That was I understood by, but because there is not possible like more details available on the documentation, but this is what I understood why they have done this intelligent cost. And you can try multiple things, not this intelligent cost, but this is a like hit and trial. You will have to check which is the best path. According to that, you will do traffic engineering and all that. But for me, I understood like this. You can use add cost to MED, always compare MED and standard mode for more BGP prefixes you want to use or BGP options you want to use, community you want to use, then go with standard. That's all from this video. I want to just cover standard mode. That's why I created this. Rest, I have done all the parts, how this cloud router and BGP works, like route policies, BPC peering, AS, and this MAD value. All I have covered before. Also, you can check out my previous videos. Any questions you have, any suggestion, just comment it down. I will drop my email ID. I know this video is little tough to understand also because of the complexity, but yeah, I'm happy to help. And if you have any suggestion, as I told you, just drop an email to my email ID. I will try to help you. Maybe if I am able to. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much for your time.